SReynolds, speech, 113. Informative speech. Homeschooling. That's a word that gives many different mental pictures to different people. For some people, you might picture students around a table in their kitchen, and they've got their book open, and they're just really intently, excitedly reading their stuff, and mom's doing the dishes or making dinner, and everything's all happy and cozy. And for some people, they picture the family down the street that has all those kids that wear the 70s thrift store clothing, and they don't have a TV, and they're just a little odd. But the truth is that homeschooling has become a very mainstream educational option. Over the past 20 years, pretty much everybody knows someone who is homeschooling, who has homeschooled, or is thinking about it. Today I'd like to talk to you about the different options that are available in homeschooling. I myself homeschooled my children for 9 years. I did 2 different grade levels, and it was a very exciting time for all of us. No one cares more about your child's education than you do. And somehow we are told at the magical age of 5 that we no longer know how to teach our children the basic things. When you think about all the different things that you've taught your children over the years, you taught them how to eat, how to take care of themselves. You taught them an entire language. And yet somehow, once they get to a certain age, you're not qualified to teach them anymore. And I can understand that, because if I had gone to school for 5 or 6 years to teach someone's children, and then someone steps up and says, oh, I'm going to teach my children, I could see where I would feel that I was a little more qualified than they were to do that. But as I said, no one cares more about your child's education than you do, especially if you're thinking about homeschooling as an option. I myself am the product of many different public education systems, and I received a wonderful education. But that was in the years before the Pearl and Columbine school shootings. That was before homosexuality was taught as a viable option. And that was back when I pledged allegiance to the flag every single day, and I could pray or have a moment of silence if I wanted to. So things are very different, and there are many different reasons why a parent might want to consider homeschooling as an option. The only legal requirement in the state of Mississippi for homeschoolers is that you have to register with the attendance officer once a year and provide a brief description of your curriculum, whatever that might be. You also might want to consider joining the Homeschool Legal Defense Fund, just in case there's ever any question about what you're teaching or your right to do so. There are 4 different major categories that you can choose from when you go to homeschool. They are, number 1 is homeschool in a box. Basically, you add student, paper, and pen. Everything's in there for you. You've got lesson plans, you've got everything you're going to need for an entire year of schooling. This takes very little prep on the parent's part, and it's kind of like going to the store and buying a loaf of bread. It's prepackaged, everything's there for you. It gives you what you need. The second option is going to be the eclectic, which is what I chose, and that takes a lot more time because you're picking and choosing every different little thing. You might like the English book, but you don't like the math book. You might like the spelling book, but you don't like the science book. In my experience, every child is completely different, and they have different needs. So by doing this approach, it's going to take you a lot longer to research all the different things that you can choose, but once you get it, you're going to have something highly personalized that's going to be interesting and challenging to your particular student. The third option is going to be DVDs. You can register with the school, you can get the DVDs, they're sent to you, your child watches a classroom. It's an entire year's worth of classes with an award-winning teacher. It is one of the closest ways that you can get other than being in a classroom. It takes very little prep time on the parent's part because all you got to do is pop in the DVD. Be there to make sure they're actually doing the work. The fourth option is going to be homeschooling online. Online, you log in every day. You're actually there in the classroom with the teacher in real time. With all of these options, you can have the choice of grading the papers yourself and sending and keeping everything yourself, the transcripts, or you can send it in and have a regular teacher do it. With all these options, you can call an 800 number and have access to a teacher at any time. The cost difference in all of these, the homeschool in a box is going to run about $300 to $600, depending on the grade level. High school costs more because of all the different extras that you can get, Spanish, French, that kind of thing. The eclectic approach is going to run you pretty much, it costs me $500 a year for 2 children the entire year. You can spend as little or as much as you want, depending on how far you want to go. The DVDs are going to run about $900, and the online the same, about $900, which breaks down to about $25 a week. So there are many different things you can do. There are very affordable options. If you feel that homeschooling is something that you might be interested in, then these are many different options that you can go into. You can go onto the web and check out www.abeka.org, or do a Google search on homeschool curricula. And many different things are going to pop up, and all of them are going to fall into the 4 categories that we've talked about. And I feel that public education, private education, homeschool, there are many different things you can do. What you want to do is you want to choose the thing that is going to be the best for your child. And homeschooling is definitely one of those options. Thank you.
Please slow down a little.
She was